Royal Television. We inspire.
You're welcome to another episode of 100% Woman, RoyalFM 95.1. I am Temitope. Oluleye. 100% Woman is a program that gives women a voice in the society because a woman should not just be seen, she should also be heard. Today on 100% Woman is another episode out of our new series called Marriage Unwrapped. This new series, tagged Marriage Unwrapped, was created to provide solutions to problems in marriage because a lot of marriages do face a lot of challenges which sometimes lead to divorce. Our aim with this series is for people to have a happy and successful marriage that will stand the test of time. Now, a lot of marriages, unfortunately, end in divorce in Nigeria. An Abuja-based lawyer, Sandra Okorodo, made a startling statement on her Twitter handle that 4,000 divorce applications have been filed in Abuja in just 51 days into the new year. The new year, which, of course, we're still in the year 2020. As of early this year, 2020, some marriages had actively filed for divorce applications, 4,000 of them. Now, while some marriages do end in divorce, there are still marriages that do still stand the test of time. There are still marriages that do not end in divorce. So they must have some secrets. What are the secrets? What are the secrets to long-lasting marriages? To share those secrets with me this morning is Venerable Adekoleoye. He's the Provost of the African Church, St. John's Cathedral, here in Maraba, Ilorin. He is called into the ministry to build lives, homes, restore destinies, and of course to prepare people for Christ's second coming. This divine mandate, God has endowed him with grace to carry out through marriage ministry, other ministries, and means such as radio programs, prayer summits, seminars, revival. He has also written books on marriage as well. So, sir, I want to welcome you to the program this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you so much. Thank you. So let's get into this morning. Like you heard me say, as of early this year, not counting all the years, just this year alone, 4,000 divorce applications were filed at the court. So divorce is a thing that does happen to marriages. And so, but there's still a lot of marriages that still are happy, successful, doing well. They're still together. There must be some secrets to them being still together. And if you don't mind me asking, let me just get a little bit personal, a little bit. How long have you been married?
Well, by April this year, I was 7 years in marriage.
Wow.
So very young.
All right. Okay, let's get into it, because I'm sure in your marriage, there are marriages that have not even up to the number of years that you've been in marriage that have ended up in divorce.
Yeah, there is this group of philosophers who said, if you have passed 6 years in marriage, that there is tendency for the marriage not to break again. And if the marriage is going to break, it will take a very long time. It can't be easily broken.
So, marriage, it is indeed, could be challenging at times. What are the secrets? Let's just get to it. What are the secrets of a long-lasting marriage?
Well, I used to tell people that the marriage institution is very deep and very wide. And there is no how you can use a day, a month, even a year to explain everything. During my few years in the ministry, marriage ministry, I discovered that most of the people in marriage are not matured for marriage. They just go into marriage, some of them because they are having the chemistry or because there is this sexual urge in them. So they go into marriage because life is in stages. You grow from a child to a boy, to a man, to a husband, to a father.
Now, when you say about maturity, is it maturity when it's based on age?
No.
Or what exactly is maturity? Because a lot of people do think that once you get to, especially as a woman, once you're getting to that 25, 26, 27, before you get to 30, they'll start ringing that bell for you that you need to get married, that you're mature enough for marriage.
Well, age is part of it. But I could remember when I was in seminary, I have a friend who married at the age of 22, and he's doing fine. So the maturity there, age is part of it. Financially is there. Even the body, it must be matured, as well as psychologically. Whoever is going to marriage should be able to handle certain issues without the interference of anybody. So you see people going to marriage today, people who have not been through anything in life. Some of the children their parents are training today, these were the people right from their childhood, go to nursery and primary school, they carry them to secondary school, to higher institution. They have not been able to handle some of the challenges of the life. So you see them when they get into, because marriage will always bring out things you don't think you have in your life. There are attitudes you thought you've overcome. But when you got into marriage, you discover that those things, for instance, I thought I've overcome anger. Not until I get into marriage that I could see the anger coming out again. So those things, those childhood attitude, you thought they were not there in your life. When you get into marriage, marriage has a way of bringing it out. Because it is difficult and very challenging to live with somebody who you have not been living with right from day one of your life. Now 22, 23 or 30, you are now moving to live with somebody from different background, different ideology. In fact, he was brought up different in a different way. So it is very challenging. And if you are not matured to handle the excesses and all those abnormal character that may come from that person, you just discover that you'll be having misunderstanding. And when misunderstanding is too much in marriage, then divorce may be in a very escapable.
So you said one thing is you need to be mature when you enter marriage. How about for those who were mature in all those areas you talked about, financially, age-wise, physically, but still, they got into the marriage and it's still challenging?
Yeah, one may be matured. It's another thing to know what marriage really entails. You said something you said is challenging. So if you don't know what marriage is, some people go into marriage because they want to have sex. Some go into marriage because they want to have children. Some go into marriage because they just need somebody to be talking to them. Maybe they felt lonely. So when you don't get the purpose for marriage, while you are going to marriage, you are unable to get it right. At the beginning, you discover that the woman that is coming to you, you may be using the woman anyhow. At the same time, understanding the nature of the woman and the man you want to marry is very, very important.
The way you're talking to me, it seems like there should be a school, a university of marriage or something. Because I tell you, I mean, it's like you said, it's very deep. It's not something to just get into. And a lot of young people just get into marriage, okay, because my peers are getting married. Oh, just because I'm getting pressure to get married. But don't you think that they should be like an institution, like an institute or something in quote, for marriage where even if you're not intended to get married, maybe from a certain age when you get mature, then you get some schooling. Because it's, like I said, it's very deep. Just not something you just get into, just like that.
Well, to me, if as a reverend, whoever is coming to solemnize his marriage in my church must undergo at least 3 month training.
3 months training?
Yes, at least.
At least?
3 months.
That is, after they have set the wedding date, or before they even set the wedding date?
That will be 12 weeks.
Okay.
So you will come for counseling. I will tell you things you are about to face, the contract you want to sign, the purpose of marriage, things you may face there, the attitude of the man, the attitude of the woman, and the likely challenges of marriage. So you have to go through it. If you don't do that, I don't join you together. That is my principle.
That is your principle. But a lot of I noticed that 3 months, that is very, very long, actually. Some I've heard about maybe 2 weeks or so before they get married and stuff like that.
Well, when you come to us that you want to have your marriage, I ask you, are you ready to pay the price? Are you ready to work these things out? I encourage them and make them see the reason why they should do it. Well, at the early stage, they thought I'm putting them through something difficult. But when we start it, some of them later appreciate me and say, no, we thank you for this thing and others. And they are doing fine in their marriages today.
That is amazing. Let's move on. Sir, one of the key things you mentioned was maturity. It is key. One of the keys to having a long-lasting marriage is maturity. Are there other things? I'm sure there are a lot of other things that would make a marriage last long. What are the other things that would make a marriage last?
Well, there is no how you want to have a successful marriage without the grace of God. Because God himself started marriage. He instituted it. He gave man wife. So if you will be succeed in marriage, you will always need God. One thing that has helped me in marriage is the consciousness of the presence of God in that marriage. I never want to do anything, or let me say, we never want to do anything that may chase him out of our home. So having this consciousness will help you. Then my wife and I, we were discussing one day, and we said, we just concluded that we were able to tolerate each other because we don't want to miss heaven. I said, why should I keep malice with you? Why should I have grudges with you without resolving our differences immediately? What if the trumpet sound? That means pastoring and all these preachings, all this our labor in his vineyard will be in vain. So having the consciousness of heaven will curb you from certain characters. You see some men, because my wife is not sexually okay, she's not satisfying me, that is why I go out to look for another woman. It's because the person is not heavenly conscious. If you are aware of somewhere after this earth, you will be very careful of how you live your life. You will be ready to endure whatever may want to take you out of the way. So God himself is very, very important in marriage. And apart from that, there is this adaptation. You are coming from different background. The man and the woman are coming out of different background to meet at a point called marriage. Now, the orientation of where they were coming from is very different. So, what the first thing you were needed to do when you got into marriage is to adapt to the new environment. Now, for a woman, while you were at your father's house, your brothers, your younger ones may be helping you to do certain domestic assignments, but now you are married, you are the one doing it. And while you were doing it, the man wasn't even assisting you. You felt somehow this man is not caring, this man is somehow is not good. It doesn't even bother how I felt. Why? Because you should know that where you are coming from is different from the place where you are. The man may choose to help you, and he may not choose to help you. So I'm just citing that one as an example. So adaptation to the new environment, knowing that I'm no longer in the place where I was before. That will help us. Then communication, talking together, reasoning together, even playing together will go a long way to make the marriage last. And ability to forgive always. On our wedding night, my wife and I called ourselves together and said, we will never sleep with any misunderstanding. We must resolve it before we sleep. And God has been helping us. So we will never sleep. Those are among the principles we said. We will never, and by his grace for these 7 years, we've been doing that. And apart from that, we also agree that come what it may, we will never discuss our misunderstanding with anybody. We will resolve it within ourselves.
Now, I have a question about that one, sir. You're saying you resolve your misunderstanding within each other, between each other.
Yeah.
Now, some would say that it is, in a way, it's good, and some would say that it's not totally too good, because sometimes you might need counseling as a couple from an outside source. What do you think about marriage counseling for marriages that are going through a lot of conflicts and problems? Do you think the two of them can handle it by themselves, or do you think they should, go to marriage counselor to help them resolve their differences?
Well, it depends on the level of the misunderstanding.
Okay.
I used to tell people that I've never fought with my wife, and someone said, Reverend, you are lying. I said, yes. I said, we have misunderstanding. We do disagree at times. But then, are you stupid? Are you okay? We don't do that.
Okay.
So we resolve it.
You don't let it escalate to that level.
Yes.
Okay.
And once you are ready to forgive, that's all. There's this thing that God gave me. I was like, whenever this woman hurt me, she must say, I'm sorry. That was my mind. But one day I was praying, and we have an issue. So I want to pray, and the Holy Spirit was rebuking me. You have misunderstanding with your wife, and you want to come and pray. I was like, she offended me. Go and say sorry. How will I say sorry to this woman? She offended me. And the message came to me that if she happens to be a member of your church, and she refused not to come to church again, now she is the one that offended you. Will you look after her? Very sure, I will look after her, because I wouldn't want her to lose. And he said, out of your wife and your church member, who is more important to you? I may leave the church at any time. I may be transferred at any time. Church member may leave to another church, but my wife will never leave me. So since that day, I said, I will never wait until this woman said, I'm sorry, before I even move to her and resolve the issue. So the readiness and the willingness to forgive, we help them to resolve their misunderstandings or conflict. But when violence is beginning to come in, the man is beating the woman or the woman is beating the man, there is need for counseling. Or when they discover that this thing is going beyond normal, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, you are unable to come together again and behave the way you used to before, there might be need for counseling. Even at times, when people come for counseling, after talking to them, we ask them to go on married retreat. We ask them to go somewhere, go on married vacation, go somewhere, just enjoy life together, and you come back to normal. But that depends on the readiness in them to make amendment. Because if I'm counseling you and you are not ready to forgive, that counseling will not work out. So the willingness to settle is very, very important. But it's not that way good. That you should always look for somebody to settle your misunderstanding, because whoever you are going to is also having his own challenges in his marriage.
That's a powerful one. That's a powerful one. So the little conflicts in marriage, you should be able to resolve within yourself.
Yes.
When it gets to a level where you can't, it's too much.
Yes.
Then try and seek counseling.
When it's becoming too much, there is tendency for the affection between them to be going down. You may not be having this affection for each other again. The man may be thinking of looking outside. So it is better they look for counseling, but one must be very careful.
Yes, I was going to ask you that too, because who do you seek counsel from? Because you just can't go anywhere. So who would you suggest couples should seek counsel from? Is it their pastor, their imams, their, maybe like father figures or parents or in-laws, or who do you think they should seek counsel from?
Yeah. One, when you want to go into marriage, you should know somebody with your spouse. Someone who can talk to some senses to his brain. Someone who will call him a fool, and he will say, I'm sorry, sir. You should be able to know that person. That's one. So if you know the person, you can go to the person. They talk to your spouse. They call two of you together. They talk to it. Secondly, your pastor could be of help. And thirdly, some people are called into marriage ministry. You are called into marriage ministry, and that's why you are doing what you are doing.
Really? I don't
So people can come to you for counseling.
No. I'm just doing my job.
Yeah. Not everybody can do it.
Okay.
It is not everybody can handle marital issue. Some people are gifted. Some people are called into that aspect. So you may go to some pastor. You just tell the pastor that maybe a pastor, Mrs. Mommy, I met my husband with another woman. He may say, that is not good. That is bad. Fueling the thing in you. It's not helping the situation. But if it is someone that is mature, he should be able to calm you down, explain things to you, and give you another reason to go back to your home and win your man back.
Okay. I have another question when it comes to marriage. Why is it that when your spouse does something to offend you, it like the way it hurts, it's so much more even painful than I can even imagine. Why is it that? Is it because of that? Why is that? Can you explain why it is that it's so? I mean, because this same kind of hurt is what drives some people to do some terrible things to their spouses, especially in cases of maybe infidelity or them getting into other philandering around. Why is it that the hurt is so much that even to forgive at times could be very, very difficult?
All right.
Yes.
Now, that you hurt me, let me say my spouse hurt me, does not mean maybe I'm angry with her. That does not mean I do not love her again. Mm-hmm. That does not mean that. But there is this jealousy in us. Now, when you are jealousy of somebody, it means there is a relationship between you and the person. You have invested your life, your totality, everything about your personality. You've invested it on the person.
That's it.
Now
That's it,
you are
yes.
seeing the person betraying the trust. The love you have given the person, you see the person betray you. The jealousy will arouse anger in you, and you may want to make the person feel like this, what you have done is wrong. Now, the person on the other side is also seeing another reason. Now, for instance, a man is cheating on his wife, and the wife caught him and said, "I caught you." The man is saying, "Well, sexually you don't satisfy me, and apart from that, you don't dress very well. You abuse me anyhow." So he is also having another reason, best known to him, though those reasons were very wrong. But he's standing on those reasons to justify his act. And that enough is another reason for the person to be bitter. So after you have done all these things to me, you can't even say sorry. So this is what you want to do. This is how you the best way you can handle it. So it's because of this investment we have in each other. I have bestowed my trust on you, my life, my totality on you, and you have betrayed me. It's very, very hot.
Just trampling it with your foot. You just, basically just taking it for granted.
Yeah.
So that is how, people feel in marriage.
Yes.
All right. You talked about communication. You talked about maturity. You talked about, what other thing did you talk about again?
I said it takes God's grace.
God's grace, which
and
I think, yes.
consciousness of heaven.
What other things would help a marriage last long?
Well, make your spouse, your father, your mother, your sister, love her the way she is or he is, ready to tolerate him or her, and be ready to forgive him or her at any time. Also, your ability to say, "I'm sorry," and accept the word, "I'm sorry," will also help the marriage. And women are expecting man to come to them and say, "I'm sorry." Man may not say that, but there are ways man will tell you, "I'm sorry." But a woman may be expecting the man to come to her and say, "Okay, I'm sorry," hug you and do those things. But men don't usually do that. I want to say because of the egos in us. So men will always want one way or the other, not to make you feel proud that he's begging me. So, but you saying "I'm sorry," I said it. I used to say it. I told my wife "I'm sorry." She said "I'm sorry," and that's it. So that word, saying "I'm sorry," goes a long way. I mean, politely.
Even if you're not the one that's wrong.
Yes, you should be able to do that
Yes.
just to make peace.
Even
to my children.
Home. Yes.
Even to my children. Whenever I discover I did something and I know I've cheated these children, I said "I'm sorry." So your ability to say that goes a long way to resolve the issue. And if you say "I'm sorry" to your wife, by the time she come back to herself, she will appreciate that "I'm sorry" and give you the best apology, the best way she can give you.
Really, really been really nice having you on. Thank you so much for all the valuable tips that you shared with us
You're welcome.
this morning. I hope when we do call you again, you do come on, because there's still more we need to draw from you.
That's my ministry. Anyway.
Yes, thank you so much, and please regards to your beautiful family and of course, Madame. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. All right, that is it on Marriage Unwrapped. This series comes up on the second Tuesday of every month on this program. 100% Woman is solely to help marriages be successful and, of course, to last long. I am Temitope. Oluleye. Do have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week on Tuesday at 11 a.m. for another episode of 100% Woman. Thank you so much for listening.
Women are a vital part of our existence, the mothers of our children, our support. Hence, they deserve to live full lives 100%.